So Judy follows the later life of Judy Garland, who played, of course, Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and she is played brilliantly, and I mean brilliantly, by Renee Zellweger, I think her name is pronounced. But she does an absolutely incredible performance throughout this movie, and I couldn't get over how amazing she was in this role. I heard Oscar talk about how she deserves an Oscar, or how she just at least deserves to be nominated for Best Actress for this movie, and I think it's completely deserved. She just did such a good job, and I also heard that I'm not 100% sure if this is true or not, but actually that she actually sang and it wasn't lip synced, and if so, that was incredible, because I actually thought it was Judy Garland actually singing, and it wasn't actually. I thought she was lip syncing, but to hear that, if it actually is true that she actually sang all those words herself, that is incredible. Now, before going into this movie, I actually knew of Judy Garland, and I knew, of course, of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, but I never actually realised that these two were the one and the same person. So actually finding this out, I thought, like, this story I knew nothing about. I didn't know her entire story, so not only was it a really unknown story for me, but as the whole thing developed, it was a heartbreaking story to see, like, especially when you get the flashbacks of her as a young girl. It is horrible to see, like, she was bullied into that life by, I don't know if it was her manager or if it was the studio head. I think it was the studio head, but he bullied her into the life she had. They were giving her drugs, but not like actual like weed or marijuana, or the same thing, but nothing like that. They were like, I think, sleeping pills and eating pills. They were giving her all stuff so she can stay slim, so they can get as much work as out of her as possible. And she was about 13, 14 at the stage. To see this, it was horrible. And then to see that how this carried on, you see just like a montage of her doing her day to day as an adult and as a kid, and they're very similar. And to see that she has been put into this mindset of this since she was a young girl, it was very hard to watch. Like, it was an amazing story, but to see that this is actually a true story, it was kind of, you felt really bad for her. And you see, like, even there's a doctor says to her, "You are ridiculously skinny," and then she thinks she's coming on to her because she's been hit into her head for years. You have to be skinny, and then she's just, you can see in her face, you can see her jaw, or not her jaw, but you can see her bones and everything. She's just ridiculously skinny, and that was because she was bullied into being that way since she was young. And to know that this is a true story, and that this does happen to girls and men all over the world, even to this day, it is a horrible thing to know that this does happen out there. The supporting cast of this movie did kind of surprise me. Like, just the main girl, who took me a while to realise, she's the main girl from Wild Rose. I'm like, oh, I remember her. I know I want to rewatch Wild Rose because of that, because she had a great performance in this movie as well. And as well, there's someone in this movie that I know who it was. I'm embarrassed to actually say how long it took me to realise who it was, but Albus Dumbledore, I think his name is Michael Gambon, or Gambit, or whatever his name is, but it took me way too long to realise that. I was looking at him like, who the hell is that man? And he started talking most of the time, like, oh my god, it's Dumbledore. It took me way too long to realise that was him. But this is the only actually other thing I've ever seen him in. I've only ever seen him as Dumbledore. To see him in this, it was very odd to see Dumbledore, or just even Dumbledore, or just the voice of Dumbledore coming from someone like that in the scenario, because he just ran I think it was a nightclub or something like that. So it was very odd to see that. But not only were those the supporting characters, you felt the kids. The kid acting in this movie was very good. Not only from the young Judy Garland, who played it phenomenal. You actually felt like these two, Judy Garland, like the young version, and the adult, were the one and the same person. I thought it was pretty incredible. Like, they didn't give her much to do, like, not a lot of singing. I don't think there was any singing from her actually, but what they gave her to do, she just knocked it out of the park. As well as the woman's kids, Judy Garland's kids, I actually felt for them. You felt like you felt that all she wanted to do was go back to her kids, and her kids wanted to see her, but her kids didn't want to go off with her. They wanted to stay where they were and still see their mother. Overall, when it came to this movie, I was not really expecting much. I seen the trailer once, like, that looks like a fun movie. Well, not much of a fun movie, but an enjoyable movie. So I said, okay, I'll go see it. I went to see it, and I loved it. I absolutely adored this movie. It's in my top 10. I think I have a place at number 6 or 7 in my top 10. But if you have not seen this movie, and if you have not planned to see this movie, why not? This is an actually incredible movie. It's one of the best of the year. I would highly recommend you seeing it. It's not one you would have to see in cinema, but of course, go to the cinema to see it. But if you have seen this movie, let me know what you thought of it down below. Click that subscribe button so you can see other reviews just like this one. And as always, thanks for watching.